Good morning, guys. How are you? Happy Monday. Welcome to another episode of Thoughts of a Maven. I am Dion Watts Williams, your brand messaging Maven. And yes, I am having a bit of a crazy hair day, but it is okay. How are you guys doing? Shout out to all of my new connections and followers on LinkedIn. We stream on LinkedIn and on Facebook and Instagram, right? Switching it up a little bit every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. So I want you to set your alarm on your phone so you can like get your cup of coffee and put your earbuds in if you're at work and settle on in. But yes, Thoughts of a Maven is where we come together once a week to talk about all things personal branding, marketplace positioning, mindset, LinkedIn, you name it, for the brilliant, ambitious Black woman who is tired of being overlooked. I have been working with brilliant women who have strong titles, impressive resumes, and years of proven results. And many of them are already leaders, and some are even six-figure earners, right? But so many of us still find that we're being overlooked for bigger opportunities, leadership roles, high visibility projects, corporate contracts, speaking engagements, board memberships, you name it. Okay, and this is why I have gone into the space of coaching, right? I've been consulting for 18 years and recently, or not so recently, moved into the coaching space about 5 years ago because when I took a closer look at the women that I was serving or am serving who are educated, credentialed, experienced movers and shakers, the problem isn't usually capacity. Like, sis, you don't need to do more. You don't need to take on more work. You don't need to grind it out. You just have to position what you already bring to the table. So, today we're going to talk about the three biggest reasons why most accomplished women still get overlooked. Okay, because your brand really shapes how people understand your value before they ever work with you. And so, what I found is that there's a positioning gap, right? Something is unclear. And when you are unclear, when your brand is a little muddied, people will fill in the blanks themselves. Okay. Guys, good morning. Welcome to Thoughts of a Maven. So glad you're able to join us today. Hope everything is going well where you are. If you're new here, put hashtag newbie in the chat with your question or your comments, okay? Because we're going to talk about the things that are keeping most accomplished women from being chosen, right? You might be overlooked for a promotion, a leadership role, right? An opportunity. Why is that? But I can tell you what it's not. It's not because you're not qualified. Okay, and so before I go any further, I want to remind you guys that we're hosting a free personal branding workshop. It's invisible to invaluable. Personal branding for the accomplished Black woman who is done with being underestimated. Can you say that 5 times fast? So make sure you head on over to workwithdion.com to learn more and to get your seat for this real time free workshop. And I've designed this workshop specifically for Black women founders, entrepreneurs, executives, corporate leaders who are ready to be seen, respected, and compensated at the level they already operate. Right. So if you're successful on paper, but not positioned for the visibility you deserved, you need to get in the room. If you are C suite bound or already leading, but still underestimate, overlooked, or underpaid, you need to get in the room. Maybe you're tired of being the best kept secret. Maybe you know your brand is not reflecting your true authority, right? And maybe you're just ready to stop shrinking and to start showing up strategically, okay? This is what we're going to cover in the workshop. Why being excellent alone does not guarantee visibility or respect, right? We're going to address the positioning gap that keeps so many accomplished Black women overlooked. And I'm really going to dig into how you begin to shape a personal brand that reflects who you are in a way that feels authentic, right? Uncovering those natural gifts, skills, and abilities, and really align your visibility with what I like to call your professional purpose. Okay, so all the details for the workshop, which is actually happening this Friday. And by the way, folks, there is no replay. So if you've got questions in this workshop, this is, if you want to pick my brain, you need to come to this workshop, okay? Because I'm going to stick around. I'm going to actually cut the workshop a little bit shorter to make sure that we have room at the end for Q&A. Good morning, guys. How are you? Welcome to the live stream. We are talking about why you're still getting overlooked if you are a brilliant, ambitious, high achieving woman, okay? And surprise, it's not because you're not qualified. I know what it feels like to internalize what's happening to you, right? What is it me? Am I doing this right? Do I need a degree? Should I go back and get a certification? It's none of that, okay? And we're going to talk about that today. So come on in and let me know if you have questions. But here are the 3 positioning gaps that I see most often, right? All right, let's kick it off. First, your messaging, your bio, your LinkedIn profile, your elevator pitch, they read like a resume and not a positioning statement, right? There's nothing wrong with a great resume. A resume documents your history. But when it comes to how you communicate your brand, whether it's in your social media bio, your LinkedIn profile, your elevator pitch, it is about communicating your authority. And so what I have observed in my, geez Louise, almost 18, it's crazy to say that out loud, 18 years in business, is that most accomplished women start off with their roles and their degrees and responsibilities. But then they never clearly state the impact that they create. And so when someone reads your LinkedIn profile, which by the way, you only have 7 seconds, and that's actually a pretty dated statistic. It's probably closer to 5. When someone reads your LinkedIn profile, you only have 7 seconds to get their attention. And so they don't have time to guess what you're known for. Your positioning should make that unmistakable. Okay, so I want everyone here, take a look at your brand, Google yourself. Does it read like a resume, or does it show that you are the authority in your field? Okay, and you'd be surprised. Okay, and I like to Google myself once in a while too, right? Every month or two, I Google myself. So that is definitely my assignment for you all today. But guys, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. We're talking about why so many ambitious women are still getting overlooked. And it's not for lack of qualifications or education. It is none of that. You know, we were taught to go to school and get an education, which is great, but they never taught us how to shop around, right, our resume, how to network, how to do the little things that will help improve our visibility. Okay. And then number 2 is that you're describing what you do, but not the value that you drive home, right? There's a difference between the tasks that you do on your job and the transformation. So for instance, in my day job, I'm the director of communications. I wouldn't say on my resume, right, that I write press releases, right? But what I could frame it as is I'm, overseeing media strategy, right? We get so bogged down in the task. And what happens is when your messaging only focuses on duties, your authority gets diluted, right? So what you need to do is shift your focus to outcome and impact rather than just rattling off a list of things. Because once you do that, people are going to start seeing you differently. Okay. And then there's number 3. You're visible inconsistently. Even the most accomplished professionals can become invisible if they're rarely seen. One thing that people tell me all the time is like, Dion, you're consistent. You are live every single week. Your emails go out on the same days every week. You are showing up consistently, and not just from when it comes to visibility, right? It's not just about posting constantly or performing online, but it's about consistently showing up in a way that reinforces your expertise and your perspective. Okay, so yes, when you disappear for long stretches of time, people are going to forget your authority, right? But it's a balance. You also want to show up strategically because that's what's going to make them remember it. That's what's going to keep you top of mind. Okay, so guys, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. We're talking about 3 core reasons why brilliant Black women are still getting overlooked. And guess what? It is not because they're not qualified, right? So, number one, it's because your messaging reads like a resume. Check your LinkedIn profile, your elevator pitch, right? Your bio. What what is it? What is it speaking to? Number two, you describe what you do, but not your value that you bring. And then number three, you're just inconsistently visible, right? Listen, none of these gaps, ladies, mean that you're not qualified. They simply mean that your brand needs some intention and it needs refinement. But the good news is that positioning can be improved, right? There is no one that's too far gone here, right? Just understand that when your messaging becomes clear, your value becomes easier to recognize. And when your visibility becomes intentional, your authority becomes easier to remember. And so when those two things align, that's when the opportunities will start to shift. And now listen, if this resonates with you, I'm hosting this Friday. And I intentionally scheduled it for 1 p.m. Eastern because I know some people got corporate jobs, right? But it's a Friday afternoon. I want you to come bring your lunch. I'm hosting a free workshop specifically for the accomplished Black woman who's done being underestimated, undervalued, underpaid, overworked. It's called Invisible to Invaluable. And we're going to really dig into why being excellent, you could be absolutely amazing at what you do, but being excellent alone does not guarantee visibility. And so I'm going to show you how to position yourself so that your authority is undeniable and unmistakable. There are things that you can do today that will make you the go-to expert in your industry. There's a way to uncover your unique natural gifts, abilities, skills, secret sauce, dopeness, whatever you want to call it, so that you're attracting the right opportunities and you're being paid, right, without stressing yourself out. Because I truly believe in professional alignment. Okay, so this isn't just your basic personal branding webinar, right? This is a strategic conversation about power because there is power in your brand, especially when you look at what's happening in our country right now. You can show up powerfully in your career and in your business by being intentional with your positioning and your presence in spaces where your brilliance is often minimized, right? And so if you're done with being underestimated, overlooked, this is your room. So make sure you go over to workwithdion.com/personal branding workshop, or even if you go to workwithdion.com, you'll see it there. Make sure you register for this masterclass. Because remember, guys, you are too amazing to sit on all that talent. You really are, ladies. And there is a whole community of people who cannot step into their next level until you embrace yours, okay? So I will see you this Friday in the workshop, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Take care.